Alright, this is the follow-up video to part 3 of VBScript to manage and set specific attributes in AD. I ran a little short on time, so I wanted to create a second video, the follow-up one, that actually shows you the script that we just got done working on in action. And here we are at the script. I just want to cover a few quick things before we run the script initially. Right now, when you look at iterate.com and review the script, you'll notice that one of the differences between part 2 and part 3 is I did comment out the WScript echo statements. In this particular example, I do have them put back in so we can see a few extra things, mainly tally up the objects that exist and make sure that it equals what we're reporting back. In addition, I have this particular line set to -1, which means every time that we run the script, we're going to write the execution stats. So let's go ahead and switch over to command prompt here and run this. And we'll see that unchanged and changed records are both to 0, which is going to be true until part 4. We have total records of 8, and if we count each of these objects here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, we'll see that there's 8 objects that exist underneath the customer's OU. And then also the script runtime is reporting 0. And if we run this multiple times, sooner or later we'll find one that will pop up and report 1 second. In this particular case, it's not going to work, but there you go. So there's so little objects inside Active Directory right now that we're not going to necessarily see anything greater than 1 second. Now, also, if we go over to here to the path in which we said to record these changes, which was reported right in here, these 2 lines, we'll see that we have our execution stats and changes completed. The changes completed log file is going to have nothing in there except for the header information. And if you remember, the header information was actually dictated by this. So we were saying that if the file does not exist, this part here, false, so if the object file exists equals false, then we want to open up the file and then write this particular line to the log file. Otherwise, just open it up. And as you see, the log file didn't exist, so we opened it up and wrote those lines. Also, with the execution stats, every time that I ran this, I wrote a line. Like I showed you before, I set the 1 value to -1 down in here. In addition, when you look at the file, I also wrote the header line, which is the same as the first, except for this is the one that checks to see if the execution stat object or file exists, and then opens up the file and then writes a line if the file doesn't exist, and if it does exist, again, it just opens up the file. And then finally, once everything was done and the script finished, it closed the files. Now to show you another example, if we change this to 0 instead, which we're basically saying that we don't want to record any statistic information until after a change is actually made, we'll see that the amount of lines underneath the execution stats file actually didn't wind up changing. And thank you for watching the follow-up video. And if you would like to visit us, there's multiple ways. Primary way is obviously going to it-irate.com. And then you also have Twitter, YouTube, and RSS feeds. Thank you.